Anya Tish Gallery is excited to introduce Mexico City-born, Houston-based artist Veronica Ibargüengoitia in her inaugural exhibition with the gallery, Fractured Light. Sharing the gallery space with Ibargüengoitia is Polish painter Paweł Dutkiewicz, with 4 new paintings from his ongoing series Afterimage. Hailing from opposite ends of the globe, Mexico and Poland, the artists share a common language of abstraction in their exploration of the phenomena of space and light. Based in Kraków, Poland, painter Paweł Dutkiewicz is returning to the gallery with 4 new paintings from his ongoing series Afterimage. The artist explains, Afterimage is an image that continues to appear in one's vision upon closing the eyes after looking at the sun. It can also be described as traces left in the memory upon having contact with great works of art. There is a kind of sanctity and purity, and in the words of writer and composer Chris Becker, Paweł Dutkiewicz's abstract paintings shimmer and glow with warm, rich colors like the windows of a space-age chapel.
Hi, I'm Veronica Ibargüengoitia. This is my first solo exhibition, Fractured Light, with Anya Tish Gallery. I'm very excited to share my work with you, and it will be up until March 27th.
1 year ago, I started working with the window subject matter. I was collecting pictures of friends, family, and artists about their window view, but it was more for me about connecting us physical in sort of a way, because we were isolated. So from those images that they start coming and increasing my library, I start sketching drawings from them and then deciding what I'm gonna do just to connect myself to them, and not just as a windows, but more like physical. So it was more about to build a space in my space. So I start thinking about what will happen if I actually build that object in my space to feel and to connect us physically closer. So I start abstracting their images and then building that object in my world. I start doing it by doing maquettes and then actual building that object. But for me, the meaning for that was walking around it, moving around that piece, interacting with me, that piece in my world, so I can be part of their world at the same time. Portal, I was working with images about buildings at that time, and this piece came from 3 different images: 2 contemporary buildings here in the United States and 1 old construction from London. I was merging those images together in a new abstracted drawing, and also I wanted to introduce a physical element. That physical element is that step that I was building, and it's more for me like an invitation to my work. It's the first time I was attempting to add 3-dimensional objects to my paintings. And also another important part in this painting is the scale. I wanted a human scale to make my viewer come forward to it and feel invited to my work. In those images I found a mark, and it's that red organic form that I kept in my work. It's the only organic element playing against the geometric abstraction in my work. I decided to keep that part because it was part of the history of the images.
Window 25 is the actual first piece of this new series about three-dimensional work. I think of this piece as how I was closing my series of paintings in two-dimensional paintings and the starting point of this new three-dimensional work. I was thinking of the interaction of the inside space and the outside and how I can connect both of them together. And we were usually divided by this window pane, and I wanted my windows not to be flat anymore. I want that interaction to be a physical interaction. So that's why I became, and I was aiming to make my paintings emerge from the wall. So I started working with elements, pulling those elements from my images, from my photographs, and start developing more and more that work, that abstractions, to make those geometric forms that were emerging, and there were physical elements that were building up from the wall. In all my pieces, you have to walk around them and discover things. I want the viewer not just to look them in front of it. I want them to make you physical move around it, because they will change with the light. They will change with the shadows they cast. That's part of what I'm thinking when I'm building them, when I'm planning them. I'm thinking of the light, I'm thinking of the shadows, I'm thinking of what happens if I place the light here, or if I move around here. What happens if this element comes forward or not, or if this element is hollow or it's solid. So, and that's because it's how we look at things at some point. It's how we interact with the world and with our spaces.
Fractured Light and Afterimage will be on view at Anya Tish Gallery until Saturday, March 27th,